Alright, what is up guys? JaretCampisi. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode of the Custom Tuono series. So we are customizing this motorcycle over the next few months and we are going to be giving it away when we're done. If you guys are interested in helping to support and make series like this possible, check out the Patreon page. It's always the first link in the description below. We are heading over to Santa Barbara Ducati right now. I'm going to be installing some new Lightech rear sets, which I'm really excited for. They look really nice. They're black, they have carbon. And we're going to be putting on a new rear brake rotor from Braking, which should hopefully save another pound or two off the bike. And I think I have a cop behind me. I do, and I don't have a license plate on my bike. So let's hope that we get there safely. Check in with you in a minute. Alright, so good news, we did not get pulled over. That is good. It was funny, someone messaged me on Instagram and said starting next year he heard from one of his cop buddies in the LAPD that they will actually be able to give tickets to motorcycles and cars from YouTube videos for speeding. And I just find that really hard to believe because I have friends who are police officers as well, and they basically said unless they catch you in the act, there's nothing they can do about it. And the other thing is, you know, say I'm riding or whatever, I could put whatever speed display I want on this with Photoshop or whatever, well, with Final Cut, the program that I used, or I could be just taking footage from online and voicing over it. I feel like they would have no way to know that was really me. Just because I'm talking doesn't prove that I'm on the bike, you know? So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that, if you've heard anyone getting tickets. Apparently they can do that in Europe, I'm not sure. But yeah, I haven't had any problems so far. But I mean, I don't do super crazy stuff very often, so. But anyway, yeah, I'm heading over to Santa Barbara Ducati, and I'll check in with you guys when we get there. All right, so we just arrived down to Santa Barbara Ducati. These are the belle of the ball for today, the new Lightech rear sets. They've been completely redesigned. They have carbon heel guards. They look absolutely beautiful. I'll be interested to see if they save any weight. My guess is that they probably will be about the exact same as the stock ones, but we'll find out. We're also going to put on a rear rotor from Braking, which I believe saves about a pound, along with some Pro-Tie titanium bolts to go along with that. So that's what we're going to be installing today. I also have a new paint scheme for the bike. Stay tuned. So again, guys, we get all of our parts through Manny at Moto Million. If you want to save yourself any money from anything you order from them, you can use code Campisi and save some dough. This presentation is impressive, guys. Holy shit, it's all what, machined aluminum?
Yeah, it's nice.
That's really nice. Look at the heel guards.
Lightech always is nice stuff.
Yeah, wow. This is sweet. These are the R version, which I believe stands for race. Man, this is impressive. Look at that.
This is important, really important.
Huh?
This is a new switch for the new 3 switch. Senior and I were talking about this over lunch. For the brake switch.
Oh.
It's important. There's 3 leads going to it. One actually turns off the cruise control.
Oh, really?
So normally before we'd put a pressure switch, we had to get only 2.
You couldn't turn, so hitting the brake wouldn't turn cruise control off?
We were just discussing lunch. This bracket makes all the difference, so you can actually use the OEM.
That's awesome. Sweet.
Whatever these cost, that is worth it.
It's worth it. I agree, 100%. Yeah, that's awesome.
That's beautiful.
Cool. I did not know that. So guys, Preston just told me as well, all the hardware on these, titanium, so all the bolts and things like that. So he said you save some more weight with that as well. And you can see like how nice the shifter is. So after we get these installed, I'm gonna go for a ride at the end of the video and let you guys know how they feel, if I can tell a difference. You can see how adjustable they are too. Tons of different places. You can move them up, down, left, right, wherever you want them. Really, really nice. I'm excited to get these on. All right, so Brian's gonna start assembling the rear sets. And in the meantime, I wanted to show you guys this paint scheme. So in the last episode, I asked you guys about paint scheme ideas. I also put a post on the community section on YouTube, and I actually asked people to send me a paint scheme. Well, one of my patrons came up with this. He actually designs super yachts, and he came up with this really quickly, and he sent it over to me, and I said, oh my God, I absolutely love it. So this is roughly what the paint scheme is going to look like. I don't know if we're going to be able to, what the hell? Oh, I don't know if we're going to be able to black out the front headlights because obviously safety reasons, but I do think we're going to do something similar to this. It won't be that metallic red. He didn't have time to match the red I had on there. So it'll just be like a normal Italian flag red. And then we're going to get frame covers in carbon to cover the silver frame. But this is roughly how it's going to look. Sorry, I can't speak today. And thank you guys, everyone who sent me designs and all that kind of stuff. I really appreciate it because coming up with a paint scheme that is universally liked is a pain in the ass. So yeah, so I'm thinking I'm gonna do carbon frame covers, and I think I'm gonna do them in matte to break it up because I don't want them to stick out. I don't want that to be like a thing that's popping off the bike. So I think I'm gonna get them for the rear swing arm and for the entire frame, and that's what we're gonna do. And then the rest of the stuff will be glossy carbon here, glossy carbon there, and then the whole paint scheme will be glossy as well. So I'm really excited. I think it's gonna look awesome. Let's get started on these rear sets. All right, so Brian's just slowly assembling these rear sets here. He's using blue Loctite on all the bolts, and all of these bolts are titanium, just like Preston mentioned, which is pretty freaking awesome, or at least most of them are. Some of the pieces aren't, but you can see the craftsmanship on these things. They're really nice. That's what I'm all about, the little details, guys. It's gonna be so sweet. I love it. All right, so disassembly is starting. Also, for everyone in the last video that was saying Brian scratched the swing arm, it was literally just a smudge that was on the swing arm. I can show you right here, there's no scratch on the swing arm, all right, guys? So I promise you, Brian knows what he's doing. I appreciate the concern. The bike is fine. All right, so the rear sets are off. You can see all the freaking Loctite on those bolts, which we will be reapplying as well. This right here is the quick shifter auto blipper setup. All right, so Brian has the rear sets on the shift side. They look absolutely gorgeous. I actually really like the black against the aluminum. You were right about that, Preston, but I still think we're gonna put carbon covers on these just to black out the bike. I think the last thing he's figuring out here is hooking up the shift linkage for the quick shifter auto blipper, and then I'll test out the position to see how it fits, but we'll wait for the other one to go on for that. But yeah, initial impressions, I actually really like these a lot. All right, so this side is completed. You guys can see how freaking awesome this looks. I hopped up there and felt how it looked. He put it in a pretty much stock location, and then again, you have a lot of adjustability here with whatever you guys want to do, and I'll leave that up to the new owner. But first impression, just sitting on it and feeling it, very, very grippy, and it feels freaking awesome, and it looks incredible too. So we're gonna move over to the other side and get that one started. So see this bracket right here, guys? This was the bracket Roy was just chatting about, saying that you can keep the stock brake switch on there, and that's where this brake switch right here will sit, and that's what will hook up to the obviously the rear brake light, and also the brake switch that will cut the cruise control and stuff when you use the brake. So it's really good that it has that. That's actually really awesome. Obviously the master cylinder is going to stay in place back here for the rear brake and all that kind of stuff, and we have the stock rear sets removed, so now we're going to throw the new ones on there and see how it looks. So one other thing, guys, if you do get these rear sets, you have to take this stock little switch housing off, and then it just slides right on in there, right there. You guys can see it, and then there's two little stainless bolts that hold it in place. So just one thing to note, don't try to put that whole thing on there because it's not going to fit. That's what she said. All right, so we have to do some fabrication here. This is something that would be used for the stock exhaust mount, but we don't need it. However, we do need these two holes here that attach. What does it attach? This piece? Is it this one?
Bracket for
attaches
the
the bracket for the brake master. Yeah. So what he's going to do is chop this thing off so we can keep those two holes so that the bolts don't stick out super far. And I think that's better than cutting the bolts, because the bolts are titanium and won't want to screw up the threads. So hopefully all that made sense. Let's go cut some shit. All right, the infamous grinder is back.
Away from the swing arm.
Away from the swing arm. We're in a completely different room. There you go. That bitch is chopped off. Look at that. Actually looks pretty damn good for a hand chop off.
Clean it up right now.
Good work. Oh, you're gonna clean it up? Nice. Yeah. All right, now we're gonna sand this bitch. Oh, it sounds like a dentist's office. A little bit. I'll bring back good memories. Look at him, guys. Brian, you're not even gonna see this piece, and he still busted out the freaking, what's that called?
Paint.
Spray paint. Paint, you asshole. Alright, so there's a new piece right there. Look at that, all painted, cut, put back on, looks phenomenal. Brian didn't have to do that, but we appreciate that he does. And now we're gonna attach the other stuff here and then take a look. Alright, so we're just testing the brake light switch here to make sure it has a little bit of play, but it still comes on. So it's got a tiny bit of play there, just in case your foot's resting on it. It won't put the brake on, and then once you press it down. Cool, awesome. All right, putting on the carbon heel guard right there, and that should do it for the rear sets. I gotta tell you guys, I really like these a lot. I'll get a better feel for them once I take it for a ride a little bit later. Brian, what are your impressions on these guys?
These feel really nice. They're nice.
Yeah, all the titanium hardware, all the machined aluminum, the carbon heel guard. I think everything just works really well. I like it a lot. Stoked. All right, so he just put the peg in the same location as the other side, and I'll see how this feels, and we can always adjust it if needed. It's just one bolt to adjust it, which is really nice, and it just threads in, so you don't even need a nut on the back. So that's the rear sets from Lightech. They're freaking awesome. Initial impressions, I really like them, so we'll see how they feel when I'm riding. Next, we're gonna do the rear brake rotor from braking, so this is gonna get replaced. Brian's gonna pull off the rear wheel, and we'll go from there. All right, so we got the stock rear rotor pulled off with the stock hardware, which looks like a bag of dicks. We're gonna weigh this. Looks like right at 2 pounds, so we'll see what the other one weighs. All right, so here's the new setup. The rear rotor from braking and the Pro Tie bolts, all from Manny at Moto Million. And let's take a look. It's actually less than a pound, but we'll just call it a pound. So another pound of weight savings right there. Freaking awesome, that's crazy. All right, wheel going back on. I'm probably gonna have to give him a hand, but isn't that just gorgeous, guys? Holy shit. All right, so the rear rotor is on. It looks absolutely stunning. I love it with the titanium bolts, the carbon wheels. Come over this side, you got that Vortex rear sprocket, the 3D EK chain. Beautiful, I'm stoked. What is it, 14.5 pounds of rotating mass we've saved off this bike already. That's ridiculous. So the install part of today's video is complete. We got those Lightech rear sets from Manny at Moto Million. Absolutely gorgeous. Can't wait to try them out. And then that rear braking from the rear rotor from braking, which looks incredible with those titanium bolts. Amazing. I'm gonna take the bike for a spin right now and see how these bad boys feel. But God, they look so good. This thing's coming along, man. I'm excited. All right, so let's. Oh wow, that's crazy. It actually feels like it quick shifts faster, which I feel like it shouldn't really make a difference. Auto blip works. Oh my God. Yeah, I gotta say they're a lot grippier, because when I go around turns, I like to put my foot down on the edge of the peg there, and they have some nice grip out there. So I can, oh yeah, I like them a lot. Good God, guys, this bike is so good. It's so capable. Yeah, I like them. The rear sets feel good. It always takes a little bit to get used to rear sets because they're not in the exact same position and stuff like that. But initially, the grip feels really good. The rear brake works, which is good. The quick shifter works up and down. So I think we're good, boys. God, those quick shifts are so fast. Oh my good Lord. Look at this. Wow. Yeah, I like to kind of put my toe on the peg when I go around a turn and then kind of dig in with it, and that helps me push down a little bit. There's always cops up here, so I gotta be careful. But yeah, man, they actually feel really, really nice. I think that's gonna do it for this episode, guys. We got those Lightech rear sets from Manny at Moto Million installed. We got that rear brake rotor from braking, also from Moto Million installed. Saved another pound to 2 pounds off the bike. And they feel fantastic, they look fantastic, and Jaret's a happy camper. So again, if you guys want to pick up any of the parts that we're putting on this bike, there's always links in the description straight to Moto Million website. You can click on the RSV4 they have there. You'll see all the parts that we're installing on this bike, and you can use code Campisi to save yourself some money. If you guys are interested in winning this bike and helping support these projects, check out the Patreon page. It's always the first link in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh my God, this thing is nasty. Wow, the front wheel wants to come up so easy. Listen to those freaking pops. I hope you guys can hear this shit, man, because it is ridiculous.